Hello, I'm Mike Gleason with TechTarget, and today I'll be speaking with Irwin Lazar, President and Principal Analyst at Metrigy, about this year's Enterprise Connect conference. For more information about Enterprise Connect, you can click on the link above or in the description below. Well, I was interested in finding out what trends you believe will come out of this year's conference.
Yeah, so there's a few that I'm watching. I'd say the biggest one is the evolution of meeting experiences. So the idea that as we have people coming back to the office right now, the challenge is how do people meet effectively? And so it used to be the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the people were in the office and 20% were at home, and those 20% of people who were at home really didn't have good solid insight into what was happening in the meetings. So flipping that equation as you go back to the office, I expect it'll be 20% of the people in the office and 80% at home. So how do the people who are in a meeting room, sitting around a conference table, how can they see what's going on in chat? How can they share collaborative workspaces like whiteboards and ideation applications and so on? So I expect you'll see a lot of effort from the vendors in the meeting space, both on the hardware side as well as within the software side. Trying to attack that environment so that you start to see like a Zoom Smart Gallery, for example, that would allow somebody who's working from home to see a grid of people with little regard for whether or not they're sitting in a conference room or they're working at home. They all look equal. So I think that's going to be the first focus that I'm looking for. I'd say the big three. The second one is around employee experience and analytics. How do you get insight out of collaboration tools that allow you to understand, both as an employee, how much time am I spending in meetings? Am I productive? Versus as well as manager and HR perspective, wanting to attack that the challenge of frustration of the Great Resignation by figuring out, are employees engaged? Are they happy? What can you pull from collaborative applications that might give you a sense of the pulse of the organization? Certainly doing so with respect for privacy. I'd say the third is just the continued blurring of lines around contact center and UC. I've been going to Enterprise Connect for 20 years now, since it was VoiceCon. It was very much a telephone show. It's morphed into much more of a contact center show. And, we see a lot of the vendors, especially the cloud vendors like 8x8, RingCentral, even Zoom now, Vonage, et cetera, that are all trying to blur those lines between contact center and UC and bring contact center functionality into the back office, improve the ability for front office people to take advantage of things like video for customer facing. So I think that is another area where you'll continue to see a lot of development at the conference.